It's all going down. Tyrone Bowman live. You better gather around because it's going to be a blockbuster on the day. It's going to be a hot program at time. It will probably be contentious, but I got to talk about this topic. For those of you who have subscribed to Tyrone Bowman Live, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate your subscription, and thank you for riding it out with your boy. And we're going to continue to grow, and hopefully, as we continue to grow, we can expand and get some real advertisers and things of that nature so we can make some money and do some important things. You know, I've been asking you all for weeks to raise some funds to build the new studio that I'm working on. So I'm going to ask you again today, and I'll continue to ask. If you kindly donate $1 to help get this job done, and we're going to get the studio built. For those of you who have subscribed, thank you to those of you who have donated, thank you for donating. Your money has gone on to the graphic designer. And if you'd like to donate $1, simply go to Cash App, look up my name, Tyrone Bowman Sr., and you'll see the Cash App handle there. Just send in $1. All right, let's talk about this article. And the name of this program, I call it Dumb Democrats Were Duped. Millions are going to lose their food stamp benefits. Oh, yes, they're dumb. They were duped. I'm going to take a break at around 4 o'clock for 1 minute, and then we'll come back. I found this article written for Politico in the agricultural section, and the headline reads, "Food stamps are back, but millions will soon lose benefits permanently. Even though the shutdown is over, GOP's signature tax and spending law is poised to kick people off the nation's largest anti-hunger program." Let's define the word duped. Let me get my computer over here. Because y'all were duped. You should have held out. And what did you get for compromising? What did you get for being conciliatory? What did you get for being humble? I know you haven't, bro. I know. Listen, you're going to come through this. You hear what I'm telling you? You're going to come through, and we're going to sit down. We're going to bust it up. You know how we do. They were duped, and what did they get for it? Nothing. And they're not going to get anything for it. They're going to continue to be lied to, deceived, pushed around, talked about. Pathetics. The Democrats are pathetic because you act like a bunch of wimps. I would say something else in street language. Y'all act like a bunch of wimps. You were so eager to think that these lying, deceiving, racist, bigoted Republicans were going to give you what you wanted. The big lie was told, well, we're going to negotiate as soon as the Democrats end the shutdown. First of all, the Democrats didn't start the shutdown to begin with. Let's clarify that. The 43-day government shutdown was because of the Republicans who are always whining and crying and complaining about how unfair America is toward them when they are unfair to everyday people. They're even unfair to the people who voted for them. That's how unfair they are. They don't even care about their own constituency. They don't care about their own supporters. They don't care about the people who gave up their nickels and dimes and pennies and quarters. They only care about the big donors, the millionaires, the billionaires. Or if you're a millionaire, they don't care about you. They only care about the rich, the famous, and the powerful. Everyday people, they do not care about. And now millions of people are going to be kicked off of the food stamps. But I want to define the word dupe. To show you how dumb they are. There's no nice way to put it. According to uh, Merriam-Webster dictionary. Let's look at the word duped. To deceive or cheat easily. That's what it means. But I got a better definition. Dupe means to be deceived, fooled, or tricked. You all were lied to. You all were deceived. You were fooled, and you were tricked into ending the government shutdown when you all had the majority of the Americans on your side. They proved it to you when Zahan Mandani won the mayoral election in New York City, that they were with you 100%. But you know what pisses me off with you Democrats? You all really don't want to change. You want the same old party with the same old stale, old, out of touch, out of time leaders. You want people in the Democratic Party that are just going to continue to pussyfoot around and play games. You don't want Hakeem Jeffries to be the Speaker of the House. Number one, because he's black. Oh yeah, there's racism in the Democratic Party too. You got a bunch of bigots and racists intertwined still within the Democratic Party. You got that old boys club in the Democratic Party. You got Senator John Fetterman, who pretends to be a Democrat. In actuality, he's a Republican. The do-nothing senator. Vote him out of office. He doesn't deserve to be the senator. Half the time, he's not even fulfilling his senatorial duties. So you all were duped. You were lied to. You were deceived. You were fooled. And you were tricked. You know, in the hood, where I grew up at, they had the game called the shell game. And they would let you win the first time around because they know that your greed and curiosity wouldn't just take the $20 and walk away. And in the shell game, they tell you, keep your eyes on the shell. But all the time, they are masterfully deceiving you because you're gullible. So when you get that first win, now the adrenaline is running high. So you think that you're going to win every single time. But what you don't know, there ain't nothing under the shells. That's why you don't win. Because they have played the game and they're fooling people. And that's what the Republicans are doing. You know, here's an example of being duped. Quote, the company duped customers into buying a faulty product. They do it every single day, telling you how good the product is, how wonderful the product is. Hey, y'all, listen up. When you go to a store and you get cheap stuff, it's going to fall apart. Oh, yes, cheap stuff does not last. Oh, I got this for a bargain. No, you didn't. You got what they wanted you to have because they couldn't sell it at full price. Now, another example. He was duped into believing a fake story about his friend. Yeah, just tell a pack of lies and folk will believe it. And what are these Republicans going to do? These MAGA Republicans, they're going to continue to do the same thing that they've always done. They are going to be obstructionist. They're going to support any and every policy as long as they are not affected by it. They already showed you how foolish you all were. What's the first thing they want to vote for? They want to pass that measure, that bill that slips in $500,000 for the Senate. For what purpose? You got paid during the governmental shutdown for doing nothing. And you claim that you were working. Y'all wasn't working. You were partying, you were drinking, and you were doing some other nasty stuff at the expense of the American people. They didn't lose their health care. They got the black card health care. They didn't lose theirs, now did they? Their family didn't lose anything. They didn't lose their food allowance where they get almost $80 a day for lunch as one of the perks of being a senator. So you Democrats were fooled. You were tricked. You were beguiled. And they got you. Now they don't have to do a goddamn thing you ask, because when you are the minority in any party, you do not bow down to those who are the majority. Make the majority suffer. You're already in the minority. All you had to do was play the game and play it fairly and play it right, and you could go into the midterm elections powerful. You could go into the midterm elections holding your head up high, saying, yes, the government is still shut down and it's going to stay shut down until they come to their senses, and you're not going to take food stamps for almost 70 million people, and you're not going to take health care and raise the premiums. Almost 70 million people, so billionaires can get richer and richer, and the stockholders get more money. The dividends are great and powerful. The checks are heavy, all at the expense of the needy, all at the expense of those who cannot fight and fend for themselves. Capitalism, greed, avarice, narcissism, on parade here in America. They're telling you they don't give a damn about you. They're telling you they don't care. We are going to throw you black folk off of welfare, and even if we have to hurt our own people to do it, we're going to do it. Because we don't want to help y'all, so if we have to hurt them, we'll hurt them too. So be it. And this article for Politico Agriculture was written by Marcia Brown. I meant to say that at the beginning of the program. So even though, according to the article, the shutdown is over, there is no GOP. There's no grand old party. It's the MAGA party. The MAGists have taken over what used to be the GOP. There is no GOP. You can call that all you want to. They're dead. They're finished. You got a bunch of old fossils, out of touch, out of date white men who want to continue to run the country. They're in their 70s, their 80s, almost 90 years old, can barely walk or talk, can't even hear, yet they want to continue to be senators of the United States of America and congresspeople, just obstructing. It's time, listen, it's time for a change in both parties. You need younger, brighter, stronger men and women to lead in the 21st century. It's time to vote all those old people out of power. Yes, it's time. It's time for them to go. Stop being afraid to exercise your constitutional right to vote. Stop being afraid to make people think that you don't have a voice. You do have a voice. What are you afraid of? Get rid of your own poverty-stricken mentality and start thinking better about yourself. All right, I'm getting ready to take a quick break. Tyrone Bowman Live. We're talking about how the dumb Democrats were duped. And now, as a result of that, millions of people are going to lose their food stamp benefits. I'll be right back, right after this short break. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I told you the break would be short. Now let's get down to the nitty-gritty of this article. Millions of Americans greeted the end of the government shutdown and the resumption of food stamp benefits with relief, but others are learning they could soon lose federal food aid permanently. And that's what's going to happen. Permanently. They're going to lose these benefits because the obstructionist, heartless, cold Republicans are going to see to it and try to make you think they're doing you a favor. They're not doing you a favor. Agricultural Secretary Brooke Rollins directed USDA staff during the record-setting 43-day shutdown to continue ushering states toward compliance with Republicans' signature tax and spending law. This is what they were doing during the shutdown. We want the governors to, we didn't put you in power, but we're telling you this is what we want you to do because we said it. Start complying. Start kicking these black folk and Latinos and people off of welfare. They're lazy. They're trifling. They're no good. They're dirty. They're not contributors to America. Oh, this is what they're saying behind closed doors. But they're going to slip up and say it on camera. And they're going to get caught. They're going to get caught using the N-word on camera, because I know they're using the N-word behind closed doors, and they're going to trip up in their own tongue. God himself is going to make the real them come out. So this is what she said. She directed the U.S. DA staff during the record-setting 4-day shutdown to continue ushering states toward compliance with Republican signature tax and spending law, which is projected to kick millions out of the nation's largest anti-hunger program in the next few months. Y'all better gear up, and you better pay attention, and you better listen to this black brother talking to you today. You're getting nothing, Democrats, for being stupid. Y'all about the dumbest people in politics right now. I just got to tell it the way it is. The Democratic Party consists of a bunch of idiotic, sensitive, with people with no backbone to stand up for their constituency. You've got MAGA all across the country, through radio, through television, on college campuses, raising hell, cussing everybody out, spewing their vitriol. Tell them to turn the other cheek. They'll cuss you and your mother out. They don't give a darn about turning the other cheek. They'll turn the other cheek and cuss you right out of the same tongue, with the same tongue from it. Why is it that the Democrats were so eager to agree with their nemesis? I've told you, politics is a dirty game. Politics is war. Politics is heartless. Politics is a cruel game. Only the strong survive, baby. The weak fall by the wayside in the game of cutthroatism. It's a cutthroat business. It's a downright filthy, dirty business. And if you ascend in politics, that means you are playing the game. And your handlers and your billionaire supporters, they demand you to follow their agenda and their ideology. Dumb Democrats. I'm going to keep saying it. The dumb Democrats. You were duped into ending the government shutdown. No, I'm not going to praise y'all, because y'all are stupid. With all your college education, with all of your vibrato, with all of your articulate speech, you're just as dumb as you can be not to stand up and fight for health care. And you know what's coming. Don't make grandiose speeches. Even if you're the minority, you continue to raise hell. You continue to voice your opinion. You continue to fight for your constituency, to let them know that you're in the game. And you're going to fight no matter what. So these changes, combined with other provisions in the new law, will represent the most significant cuts to the social safety net in decades. Who instituted the social safety net? President Roosevelt did. Go back in time. During the Great Depression in America, Roosevelt instituted the safety net to help millions and millions of Americans who were hungry, jobless, homeless, out in soup lines and bread lines every day. That's how it came from. I'm so tired of hearing these pathetic MAGA Republicans. Well, let them pull themselves up by their own bootstrap. What boot and what straps? Y'all got there through affirmative action. Y'all got there through favoritism and nepotism. They ascended to power by wheeling and dealing and lying and cheating. And our individuals who are going hungry, who are going jobless. Let's talk about inflation. Inflation is not going nowhere. It's going to continue to be inflating all over the place. Gas prices are going to continue to surge. Healthcare, Medicaid is going to continue to go up. Food prices are going to continue to go up. Foreclosures on houses is going to continue to happen. The job market, where millions and millions of people are not keeping their jobs. How many people right now have jobs and in order to keep these jobs, they become slave to the job. They're working when they don't want to work. They work when they have to work. They're working overtime. When they come home, they're so exhausted. All they do is try to get something to eat, wash their face, get down, and less than 2 hours later, they got to get up and start all over again. Spending time with their families. The corporate CEOs are happy because they have turned people into being corporate slaves. And anybody who voices opposition and is an advocate for justice and an advocate for the poor, they want to try to demonize them. Well, damn it, demonize me. I don't care. Somebody has to be able to advocate for sensibility in politics. How would the Republicans like it if a Democrat was in power and they did the same thing to their constituency and their family? They'd be raising hell all over the place, and you know it. So the safety nets are being eliminated, and it all comes as low-income families are confronting stagnating wages that aren't keeping up with the skyrocketing cost of living, an issue that some Republicans blame for their losses in off-year elections this month. Really? You don't really? You're going to lose more than that because people are pissed off. They're angry, and they're going to continue to come out, and they're going to voice their opinion during the midterms, and they're going to continue to protest in the streets and around the country. Because times leading up to the midterm elections, they're going to try to put a Band-Aid on a bleeding heart. And they're going to pretentiously make it appear like they care, when in actuality, they don't. I told you, watch the movie with Robert De Niro, Wag the Dog. Don't watch the movie Wag the Dog with Robert De Niro. Pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. It was about a president who had terrible poll numbers. He wasn't going to be reelected. He was vastly unpopular. His constituency hated him. The American people turned against him, but the president wanted to maintain his power. So what did he do? They hired a famous movie director to create a fake war that didn't exist. Wag the Dog. I saw some fake news, some lying news the other day that says the poll numbers among Hispanics approving of what the administration is doing is at an all-time high. Lying news. Outright lying news. Do you really think Hispanics and Latinos and Mexicans are happy about what's going on in this country, and you think that they're happy and that they're going to continue to vote for Republicans? Hell no. The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program provides an average of $6 per day for nearly 42 million people. $6 ain't nothing, ladies and gentlemen, when the Congress people and the senators get $80 a day for a food allowance. Okay, so what, 79, 80, round it off to the nearest 10. $80 a day, and the average child gets less than $6 per day for food in America. It's supposed to be the land of the free and the home of the brave. Listen, I don't give a darn about football games, basketball games, or none of this crap going on in the country until the least of these are being housed, fed, and clothed and taken care of. What is a winning team of a football game? How is that going to help you and your family? So what, your team goes to the NBA championship. How is that going to help you and your family? Your favorite player is picking up the pigskin, running up and down the road. Half of these multi-million-dollar athletes, they're out of their mind. They're on drugs, they're on cocaine, they're at whore parties and everything else all the time. Their publicists are always lying for them and talking about how great they are and how wonderful they are and the stuff that they do for nonprofit corporations. I ain't never seen none of them come in the hood yet. Not one. Under the new law, parents and older Americans, listen to this. Under the new law, parents and older Americans will be required to meet stricter work requirements and states eventually will have to share in the cost of SNAP benefits. Why are old Americans required to work for food stamps? Let's talk about it. Dumb Democrats. How could you insidiously go along with something like this? How stupid you are. This video is blasting the Democrats today. How stupid y'all are to go along with something like this, and you know it's going to hurt older people. Many of the older people, they're sick, they're invalid, they can't walk. Many of them have all types of pre-existing conditions, and they're not able to do things for themselves, and y'all want them to work for some food stamps? Are you crazy? Work where? When society discriminates against older people enough as it is. I said society discriminates against older people enough as it is. They don't care if you were a trailblazer, a pioneer, a trendsetter, a powerful person during your day. As far as young, dumb, stupid young folk are, you just in the way. And they want you to just die. Go someplace, sit down, shut up. And parents. Some parents need to work. I do agree. If you're able-bodied and all your faculties are there, why can't you work? Well, guess what? Whether you want to work or not, if you want those food stamps, you're gonna get up off your behind and you're gonna do what they tell you. They're gonna put you right out there and make you work those farms. Oh, they got a job for you. I said they got a job for you. You're going to work the farms. That's where you're going. You're going to be the replacement from all the previous workers. Are going to put you out on the farms and make you work for these food stamps. You should have taken the time to invest in your own talents and gifts and abilities while you had the chance to. Because I'm telling you, the Republicans are not playing with y'all. They're not playing. They're not pussyfooting around. They want to maintain power by hook or crook, and they're going to try to find a way their best to do it. And they're going to make you believe that they're on your side. When in actuality, they're not on your side. And you dumb Democrats, how could you go along with this stupidity? How could you sell out the constituency? Prove me wrong. What are you getting for this? For the people that you say that you're supposed to be representing? And states are going to have to share in the cost, which could force further program cuts, according to the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office. There's nothing nonpartisan about the CBO. Tens of thousands of legal immigrants will also lose access to the program under the law. Oh, now they want to say legal immigrants. Before they kept saying illegal immigrants were getting benefits. They kept saying the Democrats are trying to give illegal immigrants food stamps and all this other kind of stuff. The loss of SNAP was really shrinking during the shutdown, said Dr. Rosenbaum, director of federal SNAP policy at the left-leaning Center on Budget and Policy Priorities. But the one big beautiful bill act is the largest cut in the nation's history. This is also going to be really, really, I added the second really in there, deeply felt, quote, close quote. Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. You wait until this bill goes into full effect. And you're going to wish you had listened to somebody with some sense. Now, Democrats, it's too late for you all to come to your senses and turn this thing around. Why aren't y'all out there talking to your constituents? Get your behinds up out of your office. Get from in front of the goddamn TV cameras. Hit the streets. Roll up your sleeves. Loosen up your tie. Go talk to your people and tell them, you know what? We blanked up. Come on, be honest with people. We all F up during the course of our lives at times. But you got to admit it. Tell them we blanked up. We messed up. We should have stood our ground. But if you're willing to work with us and willing to help us, we're going to make it right. That's how you have to talk to people. The loss of, now listen, states have started notifying participants that they will be subject to new title work requirements. setting up a 3-month countdown for people to comply or lose benefits entirely. They already told you in January that the party was over, the gravy train is done. You will work for your food stamps. So all you people making these dumb, stupid AI-generated videos, post them on Instagram and TikTok and wherever else y'all post them, showing people just unceremoniously losing their right minds, and it's all AI generated by the white racist computer programmers to make you think that you should go out into the streets and riot. It's called a subliminal message. You better listen up, black folk. Don't you foolishly get out in the streets and parade and act stupid and protest because they stop your food stamps. Don't let these subliminal messages get you killed and put in a box someplace. Get a grip. We survived. We survived when I was a child growing up. They survived in the days that our people were growing up. They all came together and there wasn't no welfare. Now what you going to do? What are you going to do? They're giving you 90 days to get your act together. Comply, comply, comply. Let's find out what the word comply means. Let's define that one. Oops, I shouldn't have closed that. Let me go on my computer. I'm not just going to be on here talking. I like to define words. I'm an English major. Sometimes I get so emotionally excited until I trip myself up my words. I got to slow down sometimes when I'm talking. All right, let's define the word comply. It's all about compliance. Here we go. Comply. Here's what comply means. It means to act in accordance with a request, order, or rule. It involves obeying, agreeing, or fulfilling the requirements of a command or wishes, like a presidential executive order that's written and signed into law, demanding people act in accordance with the law. So what are you going to do? Are you going to be non-compliant, especially all those who have children and stuff to take care of? You better get up off your behind and take whatever job they give you. And stop talking about what you're not going to do. Oh, you're going to do it. Because it's going to become the law of the land and the law of the state that you live in. Some states like New York and California have waivers that lift work requirements in places with high unemployment rates, which are expected to slow the full impact, but certain lawfully present immigrants, including refugees, but certain lawfully present immigrants, including refugees, are being notified that they are no longer eligible for SNAP, effective immediately. Now, these are lawful immigrants and lawful refugees. You're being told you will no longer get any help from the U.S. government. Now, you better come to your senses and realize that when you were in your homeland, before you came to America, you worked hard, so you got to work hard here. You found a way to survive there, and you're going to have to find a way to survive here because the dumb Democrats did not do enough to hold their ground and stand up and fight for their constituents. Quote, while we are concerned about any person in this country going hungry needlessly, there is something spectacularly cruel about ripping out the safety net of people who came into this country who just need a little bit of time to get back on their feet and begin to be able to contribute economically to this country, end quote, said Naomi Steinberg, Vice President of Policy and Advocacy of I don't know what this acronym stands for, HIAS, a Jewish nonprofit that assists refugees and asylum seekers. Really? Then what about the people in America who need a little time to adjust and get back on their feet? This organization shouldn't just be for assisting refugees and asylum seekers. What about the people here in America who need a little bit of help? What about the people here in America who need a little bit of time to get back on their feet? What about hard-working people who are paying their taxes every day? And once they pay their taxes and they get their paycheck, they got to make a decision. Do I pay the light bill or do I starve? Do I pay the rent and the gas or do we starve? Do I get rid of the phone that we desperately need so we can be in contact with one another, or do we starve? You can't even go to Save-A-Lot and buy nothing on sale anymore. Remember Save-A-Lot? I'm going to tell you the full history about Save-A-Lot in one of my videos. You can't even go to Save-A-Lot. You can't even go to the dollar store and buy anything for 99 cents anymore or a dollar. The burden is always passed on to the consumer. They demand the consumer pay more, shut up, pay it, pay the price. We don't care if it's hard. Pay it anyway. Everybody needs a little more time to get their affairs in order. HIAS estimates that the SNAP changes will cut benefits for roughly 250,000 refugees and other humanitarian visa holders. Really? Well, during the presidential campaign, weren't they saying that it was the black refugees and the black immigrants who were eating the dogs and stealing the cats and all that other mess? Remember? They were demonizing the black refugees who were coming from Haiti and Jamaica and Africa and all points in between. Rollins has also indicated that she may press for current SNAP participants to reapply. You're going to have to reapply anyway because you're going to have to be in accordance with the new strict guidelines. Despite existing requirements that participants regularly certify their incomes and other factors that determine eligibility, the new plan could add red tape that will make it more difficult to get benefits. Duh! That's the purpose of it. Because they don't want to give people anything. USDA's Food and Nutrition Service issued new guidance in October and November during the shutdown on how to comply with tightened work requirements and follow other changes in the law. But some states are still struggling to interpret it. In California, where more than 5 million people use SNAP, California Department of Social Services Director Jennifer Troya said in a recent webinar that the state is still working through the new guidance. Let me tell y'all something very plainly. You know, the propagandists in the news media have made you think that only black people are the people who get SNAP benefits or food stamps or welfare. That is a mitigated lie, and they know it. Whenever they make these stick commercials, these AI-generated commercials, whenever they have the programs feeding the hungry and different things, they always put black people on as the poster people. More white people get food stamps and welfare than black people. We're only 30% of the majority in this country. So how are black people getting more than white folk? You are hurting your own people. We're going to be all right. We'll survive it because we are an incredulous, resilient people. So what do you do with the 5 million people out in California? Probably 99% of them are white who desperately need food. How do you handle it? Maybe somebody down the Silicon Valley will help out. Maybe somebody in Beverly Hills will decide to get rid of the 10 mink coats that they got, just keep one to sell the others and donate that money to the homeless and the hungry and organizations that are doing great work. This is a priority for us. We will move toward compliance with FNS guidance while also balancing the need for accuracy and clarity. Y'all have no idea what's coming down the pike. It's going to be merciless and cruel. More cruel than it's ever been. Millions, I'm tired of this thing of low-income families that projects to black people. Low-income families are more than just black people. It's white people too. Stop playing with me. We'll also lose access to Medicaid in the next few years when stricter work requirements and other changes for that program kick in. Republicans' tax and spending law has made certain legal immigrants, including refugees, ineligible for Affordable Care Act subsidies. The whole thing is to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. That's what the big, beautiful bill is going to do. They're going to phase it out and get rid of it and trickle it down to nothing. Your premiums are going to go up. Your insurance premiums are going to go up. Your health care premiums are going to go up. The deductibles are going to go up. And the Trump administration is working on a new public charge regulation that could deter millions of lawfully present immigrants from participating in federal safety net programs. This is Project 2025 in full operation. And I'm going to take out this word low income, and I'm my own words in there. As black and white people who are suffering and need money struggle to pay utility bills and make rent, many fall back on the charitable food network to help pay for groceries. But food banks and pantries are still scrambling to recover from nearly $1 billion in federal funding cuts earlier this year. Even they got cut. Took away the money from the food banks and helping people, and from the chaos resulting from the pause and SNAP benefits during the shutdown. Why was there a shutdown to begin with? Let's talk about it. Why was there a government shutdown? Because the MAGA Republicans wanted the Democrats to go along with cutting health care for millions and millions of people, and the Democrats said no. And you stupid Democrats just sign back onto it. Y'all some dumb people. Y'all just stupid. I really mean that too. Y'all some stupid politicians. It wouldn't have been me as a politician. If you're going to be a politician, be a real one and fight for people. If I would have to take the majority of my salary myself, if I were a politician, and feed families in my within my constituency, then so be it. Let me tell y'all something, people. On the day of judgment, Almighty God is keeping the records. I said, Almighty God is keeping the records. I don't hear that crap about, well, I'm atheist. I don't, blah, 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 blah. You're going to die one day and you're going to find out what's on the other side. Almighty God is keeping the records of every politician. Almighty God is keeping the records of the MAGA politicians. He's keeping the records of every legislative decision that's being made to hurt the poor and the needy and the sick and the suffering, and he's going to answer for it. You're not going to take none of your money with you. Your bodyguards are not going with you. Your family ain't going with you. You'll stand before God for yourself. And I'm going to do what I was put on this earth to do, to be a voice and an advocate and fight for those who really need help. And during the week of October 27, food banks purchased 325% more food through Feeding America's grocery purchase program than during the same time last year, according to the nonprofit. Tyrone Bowman Live. Need to take a quick break. Be right back. Tyrone Bowman Live. I'm talking about how the dumb Democrats were duped into ending the shutdown. Now as a result of that, millions and millions and millions of people are poised to have their food stamps benefits taken away from them, and millions more are going to suffer greatly once the full impact of the big, beautiful bill goes into full swing. You know, for people who are supposed to be so intelligent, they make some of the dumbest decisions, all because they want to please who? Appease who? Those who put them in power. It's about making money and keeping money. Feeding America purchased 325% more food. Mac Josiak, who runs Rethink Food, a charity meal organization in New York City, said his organization increased the number of meals it provided from between 40,000 to 50,000 per week to 120,000 during the shutdown. That's a lot. Quote, "It could not be worse," Josiak said. "This is just like what's to come. This is bad." He said, but his organization is permanent. With mad respect to you, Matt, you and Rethink Food. Ladies and gentlemen, let's look them up and try to help them to help people. With hundreds of thousands of refugees and other immigrants bracing to be kicked off SNAP, some refugee resettlement organizations are offering more emergency food options to help fill the hole. Kudos to y'all that are going to step up and do what the dumb Democrats are not doing. Never depend upon your enemy to do anything for you. And y'all want to win the midterm elections? How you going to win them and you won't even stand up and hold the ground right now? That's why the presidential election was lost, because y'all took Trump lightly. You threw Kamala Harris to the wolves, to the jackals, to the coyotes in the midst of a presidential campaign before the National Democratic Convention occurred, and you expected her to win? Are you crazy? Biden should have bailed out of the presidential campaign long before he even decided to stay in it. It was obvious that the man was not well. And personally, I don't think he was a bad president. He's old, he's tired, he's sick. They should have had a contestable primary. And then if she had won the primary, then she would go on. That's probably why a lot of folk were angry, because they said we just handed it to her. Come on, y'all. Come on here. America is better than this. Matt said, we have a truck, we have a warehouse, and it made sense, said Laura Thompson. Zori, executive director of Homes Not Borders, a Washington area nonprofit that assists newly arriving refugees. Her group is now focused on food security. So where are the refugees coming from? If refugees are supposed to not be admitted into the country, we know ain't no black people coming. I said, there are no black refugees coming into America. And we know that for a stipulated fact. So these are all white refugees that are coming into America now? And they get the help as soon as they come in? But the black refugees get turned away and tell them to go back where they came from? And as I'm getting ready to bring this video to a close, because I've been here almost an hour now, she says changes will affect roughly 20,000 refugees in the Washington area. You know, let me tell you what America wants. They want to hide the sick. They want to hide the homeless. They want to hide the hungry. They want to hide the least of these and pretend like this problem doesn't exist in our nation. They want to hide. They don't want people coming in their downtown precious areas where the rich and the powerful hobnob and go to the plays and the stores and things of that nature. They don't want these disgusting, dirty, smelly people coming around them. That's their mindset. I wasn't born to go through life and not fulfill a purpose. Private sector and nonprofit contributions won't be enough when the SNAP changes go into full effect. You dumb Democrats. You're just dumb and pathetic at this point in time. No spine, no backbone. You won't even cuss your enemies out. And they're calling you all kind of names. And destroying people all across the board. Shout out to Pastor Jamal Bryant of New Birth Baptist Church down in the ATL for the good work that he's doing. And to other churches, real pastors that are doing the work of the gospel that Jesus actually talked about and did and practiced. What is the real gospel? Taking care of the sick, the needy, the poor, the widows and the widowers. Tending to the least among us. Not just standing up in a pulpit, lying and saying, God said there are 100 people here tonight that's supposed to give in $1,000. You're a liar, sir. You're a liar, ma'am. You are a liar and a false prophet and a false prophetess. Yes, I said it. You are a liar. Lying in the name of Almighty God, swindling and taking advantage of people in the midst of their pain and their heartache and their poverty and their sickness. You're a liar. Get mad. I don't care. I said it. I don't care if they're your favorite prophet, your favorite medium, your favorite apostle, your favorite bishop. If he, she, it, or they are standing up there and telling you that God said this nonsense, they are a liar and you're going to answer to him for it. Now somebody has to say it, and I said it. We don't need any more books, no more DVDs, no more tapes from these lying preachers. Develop your own relationship with the Almighty and get in touch with the God in you. Cindy Kirkhart, who runs the Facing Hunger Food Bank in West Virginia, is worried about her organization's ability to keep up. Dumb Democrats, you were duped, fooled. You were made to look stupid. And you fell for it hook, line, and sinker. You fell for all of it because you didn't have the backbone to stand up and call it stalemate. Some way, somehow, there are going to be some real politicians raised up in this nation. And that's going to do what's right on both sides. Now, there's some decent people in the Republican Party. There are. And there's some decent people in the Democratic Party. I'm talking about the leadership right now. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about those who are supposed to be the party leaders. See, they know, the MAGA Republicans know what they're doing. They stand up there every day and lie with a straight face. The Democrats, you all still don't have your messaging correct. What is your message? What is your goal? What are your positions that you're going to take moving forward? It's not enough to win an election. You still have to govern. In New York City, Mandami Warner saying, well, you know what? He's bad for the neighborhood. The same thing he said about black folk. He's bad for business. At one time, Harlem was all black. At one time, Central Park was all black in New York. Jamaica, New York consisted of black Jamaicans, and now up in Jamaica, New York, gentrification has come. What are you dumb Democrats going to do? And if you're upset with me, dumb Democrats, I don't care. You need to be upset and get fired up and actually get the freaking job done. And get it done right. Hold a press conference and let your constituents know that you messed up, that you made the wrong decision, but you're going to make it right. Have some intestinal fortitude. Open your freaking mouth. Get rid of the teleprompter. Get rid of the cue cards. Get rid of the PR person. Speak from your heart. And let them know you made the wrong decision, but we're going to fight to make it right. There you have it. Millions will lose their SNAP benefits because of the dumb Democrats. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate each and every one of you. Never surrender. Never quit.